All right, good evening everyone and welcome to tonight's department budget hearings. Tonight we will have three presentations: Office of the City of Treasurer, Office of the Registrar of Voters, and the Office of the Town and City Clerk. My name is Councilman Amilcar Hernandez. I am Chair of the Operations, Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee. This meeting is broadcasting live on HPA-TV's Xfinity Government Channel 96, Frontier Government Channel 6032. It will also be streamed via hpa-tv.gov.org, HPA-TV Facebook page, and HPA-TV, Apple TV, Amazon TV, and Roku TV apps. It will also be made available on the HPA-TV YouTube channel. I would like to acknowledge my colleagues present here today. On my left, we have Councilman Alex Thomas, Councilman Josh Migton. To my right, we have Council President Shirley Surgeon, Majority Leader Marilyn Rossetti, and Councilwoman Kelly Bilodeau. The first presentation we will have tonight is from the City Treasurer, Carmen Sierra. Madam Treasurer, can you please introduce the team alongside yourself tonight, and then the floor is yours for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Council President, Majority Leader, Assistant Majority Leader, and Council members. Thank you for this opportunity to present tonight our fiscal 2026 General Fund budget presentation. And before I do, I'd like to introduce the Chief Investment Officer, Wayne Moore. Wayne, can you raise your hand so they can see who you are? Our Legal Counsel, Lisa Silvestri. Our Counsel and Consultant, now retiree, and former Chief Investment Officer, Gary Draghi. Still taking me time to understand that he retired. And to my right is Shay Eve, and she is the Chief Administrative Officer. So, let me start off real quickly with the values and mission of our Treasurer's Office. Again, we strive for customer service. Our doors are open for employees and communities and leaders like yourself at any time when you need help. We do strive for excellent integrity. We try to do the right thing at the right time. We're strong in diversity and inclusion. We start off with our office. We also include manager and vendors. Teamwork, try to collaborate with the city as well as businesses and community leaders. And most critically, preserve the health and strength of the city asset through prudent, conservative investment. The Office of the Treasurer on the General Fund consists of the City Treasurer, Assistant City Treasurer, Custody of Funds, Executive Office, and Investment. There's one note that I want to make sure that you understand is that we are required to maintain the current staffing levels to maintain internal controls, and this is according to GAAP and the City Internal Audit Department. Like I said, the City Office, next page, please. The Office of Treasurer is very diverse. We are 38% City Hartford employees, residents, and 61% non-City Hartford. We are Hispanic, African American, West Indian, Caucasian, Asian, and Turkish. The majority is female, 64%, and male, 35%. The roles and responsibility of the Treasurer: invest the asset of the city, pension, and OPID trust funds. MERF, which as of April 30th, 24, the asset value of the MERF was $1.17 billion, and OPID, as of 4/30th, the asset value was $26.7 million. We manage all the city cash and conduct banking relationship. We work with Bank of America, Webster Bank, TD Bank, Liberty, and also we invest a short-term investment under STIF. As of March 31st, 25, the total cash invested is $264 million. We invest and disburse city trust funds, and we administer the city deferred compensation program, which are the 401A, 403B, and 457, which I will explain a little bit more on the next few pages. And we also administer all the pension benefit. Close to 3,000 retirees, we pay $10 million a month to pensioners on time. The Office of the Treasurer aims to save tax dollars money while maximizing the ability to generate revenue. Revenue is critical, right? Everybody wants money. So in this office, we generated a total of $7.6 million in fiscal year as of to date. Of course, this goes to the bottom of the line budget. Out of that, $7.3 million in interest income from short-term investment vehicles, as I mentioned in the bank before. Overall, the operating holding of the banking institution is over $400 million, $266,000 in rebates from e-payables. That totals of $7.6 million. Our recommended budget is $582,913. The majority of the budget is under custody of funds, which is 82%, almost 83%. Executive office is only almost 15%, and the investment is 2.7%. In fiscal year 25, the adopted budget was $549,250. The recommended budget is $582,913. There's a difference of $33,663, 6.1%. The increase was due to contract salary adjustments and a reclassification of an administrative clerk to a principal analyst position. I'd like to share with you a couple of our accomplishments. We manage a total of $230 million in the city deferred compensation plan. The 401A, those were unclassified employees, we manage $2 million. And this is among 89 participants. The 403B is for the Board of Education employees. That's $44 million that we manage, and that's for 1,531 employees. And then the 457 unclassified, those for anyone who's interested in participating. That's $184 million asset that we manage, and that's 1,726 participants in the plan. As of June 30th, 2024, the MERF investment portfolio was valued at $1.13 billion. That's after we paid out $118 million in pension benefits. And that's during the calendar year, again, approximately to 3,000 employees. In 2024, we also did new investments. We invested with Harbor View, Realty, Cray Hill Principal Strategy Fund 3, Aries Secondary Infrastructure Solution, and Digital Alpha Fund 3. Out of the four, the reds are diverse investment managers. Partner and collaboration continue. We hosted in November 24 a successful bank fair where we had 15 banks and credit union participated, and we had a constant flow of traffic throughout the event, and also the support of the Director of Human Resources, Marlene Fleming. We completed the implementation of PayMo X platform for electronic payments, offering vendors access to efficient payment platform, and reducing check production postage costs of approximately $8,000 a year. We did a calling campaign to move vendor to electronic platform was completed, and 1,584 vendors enrolled as of March 2nd, 2025. I want to thank my custody of funds staff for really working on this initiative. We also implemented a new process to reimburse the Hartford Public School for OPID expenses. And many of you recall our great conversations we had on that initiative. We also continue a partnership with Liberty Bank, who we consider to be the community bank, and Attic on Good Neighborhood program to continue to help residents achieve their home ownership goals. We worked again with Human Resource in incorporating some good financial literacy information into the HRB employee newsletter. Items such as critical for us before we retired, getting a head start in college, why Medicare should be part of the retirement strategy, the importance of having a will, and of course, birthday milestone, key to retirement, which is one key area that I enjoy. The other one is to provide an oversight as strategy partner to the multi-year collaboration of STEM. We started this about 4 years ago. This is our second year. It's 1.6 million. This helped our Hartford kids all over to participate in this initiative of STEM and to learn about math, science, art, and engineering. And so far it has been very successful for the Hartford kids. I want to thank the partnership, Hartford Youth Scholars, YMCA, Legacy Foundation, the Children's Museum, and Hartford Parent University. We also provide an internship program for the last 13 years, and many of our kids have graduated from high school, gone into college, worked with us, and are successful now. Last year, we did Trinity College, Central Connecticut State University, and Southern Connecticut State University students. Some of them were Hartford students in high school, and now they're in college. We work very closely in providing, with the departments in providing key outreach on the benefit of the employees. And in 2024, there were approximately 100 members that were received outreach session. Out of that, 21 new members orientation, 75 individual member counseling, 5 plan provision summary presentation to the collective bargaining. That was Board of Education, School Crossing Guard, and the Hartford Police Union. The outreach in my office is critical. It's the only way the employees are going to understand their benefits and prepare before they retire. We also work in collaboration with the State of Connecticut Treasurer's Office and in partnership with the City Administration, Leanne Ross and Jonathan Hardin. The anticipated closing in May 2025, and that was the 160 million special obligation refunding bonds. These were old bonds from 2014, 2015, and there's a saving to the state taxpayers of $7.2 million for the next 10 fiscal years. And then we prepare the 2025-26 strategic initiative plan initiatives for the office. We partner with the Hartford Public School. This is our second year, and various local organizations to host the second bilingual financial literacy symposium in Hartford. We talk how critical financial literacy is. We know this is a national problem, but we also have to make sure that we, as leaders, and thankful those who are participating with us, to implement an initiative like this to help those individuals that want to learn more about building their credit, building a budget, preparing for retirement. We're about to create a 3-year strategic plan for the office to increase the organizational efficiency. We continue to dialogue with the city administration to identify factors driving the actuarially determined employee contribution, the famous word ADAC, and other factors that impact pension costs. I want to thank my plan administrator, Nicole Plessy-Cloud, who has been working extremely closely this year and last year with HR, Ms. Fleming, as well as Deb Calabello, and been identifying some key areas and during the negotiation of contracts that would definitely help reduce the ADAC. And we also will have a MERF experience study that will be conducted by the actuarial this year. They will study the retirement rates, turnover rates, and salary scale, and then they provide recommendation. This study is done every 5 years, so it's time to do another one. And then again, invite each and one of you to participate if you can, or invite friends and family to our financial literacy on May 31st, which is coming up. We will be addressing budgeting basics, building your credit, home ownership prep, debt detox, just like we detox our body, we want to detox debt. Academy for Small Business and Investing 101, that's going to be for our high school kids who will receive a stipend and understand the basic of investing. We have one of our investment manager, Margaret, who will be from Walter Scott, who will be providing that training. I want to thank the sponsors also, Liberty Bank and all the rest of them, Voya, and who's been supporting this initiative since 2023. And then I would like to take a quick moment just to share with you And thank you, first of all, for those, all of you participated during the evaluation presentation that Hook and Hokum did, and received a lot of good questions. But I know we did also the asset study report, which I didn't get to see anyone, but I'm sure you were busy. But the report is available, or will be available on our website, and if you need it, we'll be happy to send it to you. Would like to take an opportunity to thank, again, the department heads who I had the opportunity to work with, each one of them, especially, again, HR, the finance department, Leanne and her staff, Mylene and her staff, and Deb. Like and appreciate that DPW Deputy Patrol. We have an info line. We receive a lot of issues and concerns, and Shay does a great job disseminating those to different departments. And Patrol has been an outstanding leader in responding to everything and anything that we've given her. So I want to thank her. Council members, all of you. Jonathan Harden for his advice as needed. And also all the unions, especially our president of HPU, James Wasowski, who came down to see us. Our president Rita Kitchen from Hess came down to also visit the office. And Jean Webb, and a retiree, as you know her, Jeannie Webb. And what's his name? Oh, Bazzano also. I see Bazzano. I want to thank him for that. And then again, the communication and respect and partnership is critical for us to move the city forward. And I just want to make sure and I emphasize that my office is open. I'm available if you need to meet, if you want to meet with staff, or if you want to meet with my team or consultants to understand more about the AID Act, and which again, I will definitely organize a meeting where we will continue these conversations, because these evaluations that were done, these report, mean something. It's the beginning to information that we're going to need as we continue the conversation about the ADAC. So I will invite each and one of you. Hopefully I'll see you in one of our meetings. Again, thank you for your time, and we open for questions.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer, for this presentation. I'd like to also acknowledge System Majority Leader Clerk, who joined us virtually. I will start the questions from my council colleagues, starting from my left. Councilman Alex Thomas, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Treasurer, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you for all your team for the hard work that you guys do. I did have a question. Let me see. It has to do with the switching over in the system to vendors. The amount that you said was it's about, I believe it was like 17, or no, about 1,600 vendors enrolled. What is the percentage of if there's 1,600 vendors currently enrolled in this new system, how many of our vendors are not enrolled as of yet? Like, what's the percentage of how many more do we have to go? Or there's some vendors that are not going to be moving over to this electronic payment system?
My understanding, is very little left of people to enroll. So the percentage is pretty high already enrolled.
Got it.
But I could double check with staff.
So it's just
But it's very small
it's
already,
a small
fading
amount.
out the program.
Got it. So we expect like everyone's probably going to be moving
Yeah.
over to this system? Awesome.
Yes.
And I just wanted to affirm you guys for the bilingual symposium. It's one of the, I would say, one of the events that I've heard people talk about, which is nice. Like, I've heard people mention it, and they had a good time last year. I know it's coming back up again, and I hope to be there, May 31st. I got an email. I think I got 2 emails, which is good. And just wanted to affirm you guys. And I did just pull up the website. The website's beautiful, but I would say that maybe it just needs a little help on mobile, just being optimized for mobile usage. Just because I tried to pull up, it's like all the forms are in there, and when you click on the forms, it doesn't seem like they're loading for me. It could just be me. but usually I feel like it's not just me. And so I would just say maybe just taking a look at that. But it looks really nice. Your beautiful headshots right there at the top, and it's a nice website.
Well, thank you. We'll
yeah.
we'll definitely check on the mobile.
Yeah, I actually think whoever designed that could probably help us on our city stuff too, because the city's website could get a nice facelift as well. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thanks, Shay, because she's the organizer of the whole
Thank you.
financial literacy.
I think I got my 2 emails from you. Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Treasurer Sierra and team, always, both for the presentation and also I've found on my time on council, because I do not have a head for numbers, I have turned to you sometimes to explain this stuff, and you have reliably done it, which I would be adrift without those explanations. A couple sort of questions about a couple different things. So my understanding, I'm going to ask about the COLA for pensioners. And I have been asking folks around, and it's a little unclear to me, and this will help us in doing the budget. Can the city do a COLA increase for pensioners, or does the treasurer, who has the authority to do that?
All of you do.
We
With the
do, so we
mayor,
can order it.
You got to make sure you have the money in the budget to do the COLA. I do the financial analysis for you.
But we appropriate whatever.
That's correct.
Money, okay.
Lisa, you want to give a little?
The only way that
Are you?
Lisa's
Turned up.
legal counsel.
my name is Lisa Silvestri.
But Lisa's been around for a long time.
The only way that a COLA can be approved, a cost of living adjustment, is for the city council to adopt an ordinance saying that there shall be a COLA when it goes into effect and how much it would be.
Okay. Thank you. That's news I can use. Hold on. In the budget book, and I think it was on page 5.4, but I actually left it in my office, so I might be wrong on that, but the revenues from investments increased, but the revenue then that goes back to the city had been projected lower, and I'm talking about this budget year. Is there, and so what happens to that money? It just stays invested? Like, why not send more back to us if the revenues have gone up, if they were above what was projected for the budget year?
So I'm going to let my chief investment officer, if he wants to give a few words before I can also give my points.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question.
I can't, I don't know who I'm listening to because I can't
Wait
hear
more.
very well.
Can you speak a little louder?
You bet.
Hi, Councilman, I'm not sure I understand the question.
We don't understand the question.
Got you. So, from my understanding, and I will concede my understanding is not the strongest, the projected revenues from the city's investments in the budget for this year, not the one going forward, the estimates were lower than what the earnings were. And then, as I understand it, that sort of, there's an estimate of what the treasurer, what the investments are going to give back to the
You're
general
talking about
fund.
the short-term investment
I
on
think
each
so.
page, because we have a lot of different investments, so you got to be clear.
I had noted that it was on page 5-4,
that's not-
if that helps. But I guess I can ask more broadly the question, which is, if the projection at the beginning of a budget year for what the earnings and the return of money to the city will be, if it ends up that the earnings are higher, is there a mechanism to just give?
The money would stay in the fund.
I can't hear you.
The pension fund does not, if your question is if there's a surplus or the returns are higher than we anticipate, what happens to the money? Does it go back to the city? The answer would be no, it would stay in the fund and be part of the return. So if the return in a given year were 10% on $1 billion, that's $100 million. That would stay in the That would stay in the pension fund.
And is there any mechanism for the city, for the general fund to get some of that unforeseen?
No.
No,
We've been through that many times.
Okay.
Okay.
I just hadn't asked before.
I just want to make sure.
Okay.
It has excuse me, Councilman, this is Gary Draghi. It has an indirect effect because, as Mr. Moore pointed out, let's say it was a 10% return, we target 6.75. The excess return goes into the funding, the value of the fund, as he mentioned. But then the next year, there's an actuarial analysis done, which then determines what the contribution will be for that next year. So having more assets based on higher returns will, in the future, generate lower, other things held equal, the contribution by the city would be decreased. So there is an indirect effect of the performance.
Or a delayed effect, in some sense, like it comes in the following year.
The only thing is that it is based on long-term estimates. So, over time, as we know, as we're experiencing now, the markets fluctuate significantly. So that's why this whole process is, if you will, I don't know what you would say, is based on a certain amount of estimates with a certain amount of, sensitivity. But over time, better returns result in lower contributions, other things held equal.
Understood, thank you,
But
and I
there's-
appreciate.
There's no pre-existing mechanism to determine what that amount would be.
Got you.
Projected.
On a different note, I noticed that on page 3 of your, sorry, let me make sure you can hear me. On page 3 of the presentation, I guess slide 3, you say that the office is required to maintain the current staffing levels. And I know that the senior project manager that's been vacant, right, since August, is my understanding. And that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's my understanding, is that since Sean Antoine left, that position has been vacant. That's the senior project manager on investments, right?
I was referring to the custody of funds section. The custody of funds. Those staff?
But those staff.
Yeah, that staff, right. Just the custody of funds.
Well, I guess my question still is, there was one senior project manager on investments, and now that person's been out for has been gone, I think retired for many, many months. What's the status of filling that position?
Well, first of all, the city has same title for different functions, which is very interesting and unique. But that position that you're talking about, he became a senior project manager, and he retired. So at this point, we have not been able to fill this position.
It's posted, though?
I'm sorry?
It's posted with somewhere?
No, we're
with
not going to
HR?
do anything right now.
I'm sorry?
We're not moving forward right now with filling this position.
Is it budgeted for?
It's budgeted for.
So why not hire someone?
Well, I have not posted the position, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm asking why.
I have not had a chance to post it, but we will post the position.
Since August.
Yep.
Do you have a
Because we
sense
do
of
have,
when you will post it?
well, we do have a forensic audit going on, which you're familiar with, and it has not been completed. Hopefully, within another couple weeks, we should have that resolved, and then I could proceed.
So you'll post that position presumably in the next month?
Again, I'm going to wait until the audit is done. I'll get back to you, to all of you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Similar question about, and this is not on this sheet, but I know that I've heard, because you had a slide about the onboarding of new employees and like explanation of pension benefits. And I have heard that since Mary Watson left at the end of last year, because she was the one who did a lot of that onboarding, but she also did the explanation as people were coming toward retirement.
Yeah.
And folks are saying that it's been harder to get that explanation done, since there's 2 people instead of 3. Is there a plan to fill her job?
I'm not sure who those people are a concern, but I do know that before Mary left, we trained Sabri, who became Mary Watson of the world, and we also have Sulain Gonzalez, who's also doing senior member specialist, and we just hired a gentleman by the name of Richard Ortiz, and we also have the plan administrator. So we have enough people at this point to do any type of counseling or outreach if needed.
But just so I understand that, so you've hired someone to replace Mary, there's as many people as before?
Again, we have enough people right now to do the counseling. That will be addressed down the road.
I'm just trying to understand the difference
That's
between
not
as
part of
many
the,
and enough.
first of all, that's not part of the general fund, that's the MRF
I know.
budget. But I do appreciate you saying that there are people that are concerned of getting this type of counseling. And again, I don't know who those people are, because at this point, we have done a lot of outreach. We continue to do more outreach, and we have the staffing to do that.
But it's less staffing than before. That's all I'm trying to say. It's less staffing doing the same thing as before.
No.
So-
Mary, again, we have enough staffing to do the work. And that's not a general fund budget
No,
situation.
I understand that, but I
Okay.
mean, it affects city employees,
Yeah,
so it
okay.
concerns me. If there's one fewer employee doing the work.
Okay.
I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Council President Surgeon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Madam Treasurer, and to all your staff joining us tonight. Thank you for your presentation. And I'm going to just focus on your 9, your general fund staffing, because basically the council, you do have a commission who actually oversees the MRF and the staffing there. So let's start with that, if that's okay with you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much. So the 9 staff member that the general funds covers, is that including the assistant treasurer?
That's correct.
Okay. And that his salary is paid out of general fund, including your salary is paid out of general funds.
Portion of it, very small.
Listen, we're not here talking.
No, it's true, because we broke it down into,
Yeah.
we were generous enough many years ago to help, but not to give so much burden to the general fund. And we broke down the position, general fund, which are the majority are custody funds, then you have a MRF, a percentage, those who deal with MRF, and OPID, a percentage. So my salary is broken down to 5% general fund, 80% MRF, and 15% OPIB. You should have a copy of this breakdown in your in the budget.
Could you share that with us again? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, we provide this to the finance department, to Julian.
Do we have that? No? Well,
Okay, we'd be happy to send it
if
to
you
you.
could send that over to us again, I would appreciate it.
Sure.
Does that go also for your assistant treasurer?
That's correct. The assistant treasurer is 15% general fund, 75% MRF, and 10% OPIB. And again, we work with you to try to not give too much burden to the general fund budget, so we split the cost.
So your budget of 582, basically, those 9 positions with, of course, you know, it seems like some portion of it is billed to the MRF or OPEC.
Yeah, I'll give you a breakdown real quickly. I have it right here. Financial system manager is 90%, general fund, 5% MRF, 5% OPIB. Project manager, 85% general fund, 10% MRF, 5% OPIB. Principal analyst, now senior manager, 85% general fund, 10% MRF, and 5% OPIB. Senior administrative assistant, 85% general fund, 10% MRF, 5% OPIB. Majority of these people are unions. Chief Administrative Officer right here is 45% general fund, 50% MRF, and 5% OPEB. Senior Project Manager, 15% general fund, 75% MRF, and 10% OPEB.
Great, that's good. If you could just send us those numbers
Sure.
in writing, that'd be really appreciative. I had my pages with my questions. You talked about the 3 banks that Webster, I think it's, was it Liberty? Yeah. I think
Bank of
Webster,
America,
Liberty,
Bank of America, Webster Bank, Liberty Bank, TD Bank.
TD Bank, yeah, that's
Yep.
one of, and those are the 3 banks we have placed most of our overnight funds in.
Short-term investment, yeah.
Short-term investment,
Cash,
thank you. And can I ask, you know, through the short-term investment, I do know that I do see you do a lot more with Liberty Bank as education is concerned, which I appreciate. And because it really goes, when you have your program with the youth, I don't see the other banks participating with your office as well as I do see Liberty Bank participating.
Yeah, we do. And on financial literacy, you'll see Webster Bank and all the others bank that's going to be part of it. And they're also going to be vendors where they're going to have their stuff there to provide information to the community. But we do have other programs with some of these banks, and we're still exploring more,
I think
including the credit union, CENCAP.
Oh, CENCAP, yes, thank you so
Yes.
very much.
Yeah.
I did hear you talk to Councilman Mitchum regarding each year, whatever the investment is left over, how we negotiate, you know, for next year, the portion the city contributes to, you know, in the budget. What's the total we contributing in this year's budget, 25-26 year's budget, or is it 26-27?
How much we,
The
in the
city.
overall
No,
institution?
The city is contributing to the pension plan.
Oh, to the pension plan this year.
Yes, sometime we do about a
53 million, 53,
I'm sorry?
More like 55.
oh, I'm sorry, hold on. 55.94 million is what was the contribution requirement for this year, 25, 26.
For this fiscal year.
Yep, for fiscal year 26.
And is that gone up, down, over the, went up from last year to now?
Well, it went up.
It went up?
And again, these, go ahead.
Just a little bit, though.
Just-
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I was hoping from your stellar investment over the last, you know, investment this past year, some of it could have been helped to offset that 55 million that comes out of general funds towards the pension.
So I would just say to that, what happens is if you have gains above what you expected, some of that does go towards potentially reducing the ADEC payment, but not all in the next year. Because it's smoothed in, it's called smoothing. So you smooth in gains and you smooth losses in as well. It keeps things on more of an even keel as opposed to going up and down with wide gyrations from year to year.
And that's all mandated by actuarial practices, so we have an actuary that consults on this. And of course, the contribution is also affected by liabilities, which this office does not have any effect on. The liabilities relate to payroll and, payroll-related issues that the city manages.
Thank you for that. On page 6 in the presentation, Madam Treasurer, you talked about a 7.3 million, again, interest income from short-term investment. I would presume from the banks, those 3 or 4 banks that you work with.
Banks, that's correct.
Now, what is e-payables? You said 266,000 in rebates from e-payables.
That's what we receive from that particular program. 266 rebates.
So is that
And that's the total,
where-
that's the total, 7 point, what is it, 9?
It's on your page 6.
7.6.
Yeah. So is that where you're now electronically paying your vendors?
That's correct.
Okay. And so by doing so, there is this rebate back to your office, which also helps with...
Comes back to you.
Oh, we'll sort of take it for the revenue. Yeah. And if you can keep doing that more, we may don't have to give you the $55 million. So, but no, but it
Or you
is
can use
work-
it for a COLA.
Well, I am, that was going to be during my conversation with you. But I was going through my pages as I go along here. But no, thank you for that. That's really a good small return back to us. You listed on page 8 the different investment companies, Arborview, Gray Hill. Are any of these minority firms?
Yeah, the 3, Harbor, Crayview, and Digital.
I'm sorry?
The 3 that are highlighted in red, they are minorities,
Okay.
okay?
Are they out of Connecticut, or another part of the country?
No, they're not. New York, Boston, I don't have the exact place with me.
We do have managers that are based in Connecticut, however.
We do have Fairview Capital that's been with us for a long time. They're from Connecticut, West Hartford.
And that's Gray Hill?
No. Fairview is not on the list.
Oh, Fairview.
Yeah, we do have others, managers that are from Hartford or in Connecticut that we do business with. Fairview is one of them.
Okay. So, but
But these are new investment managers that we just did business with.
Okay, so the ones that already are new minority investment
That's
firms
correct.
were now working with your
Yeah.
department?
Working with our office, yes.
Okay. But
Investing.
Fairview,
I would just,
Investing in
I
them.
was
I'm
just
sorry?
going to point out, Aries does have a significant office in Connecticut as well.
it's always nice to use our hometown or home state, organizations, to give back to the state of Connecticut. Also, on page 9, there is a small charge to the vendors when they use the electronic form of payment.
I'm not sure what that charge is. I'll have to look into it.
That's okay. So the vendors who are now doing electronic form of payment, instead of a check being mailed to them, is there a small charge to the vendors when they choose to participate in the electronic form of payment?
I don't recall if there is I don't know. I have to double check.
Okay. If you could let us know, if I'm a vendor and I want to get paid electronically, is there a charge to me for doing so? Since we are actually saving with postage approximately, you said we're saving approximately $8,000 annually.
Right. I don't know if it's a small fee by using the card or no. I'll check for you.
I would appreciate it.
But
Thank you.
we are saving more doing it by the card than the checks.
Okay. And what is the new process you implemented with the OPEC expenses with the Board of Education? You said you implemented new processing for some of the issues that has happened in the past. Can you just tell us a few?
We cleared out with conversation with all of you. We cleared out the process, which was then shared with the committee, and it was voted on. I do have a copy here that I'll be happy to forward it to all of you on how the information is requested and the backup and the review. Some minor tweaks, but we had that was based on conversation with the whole committee.
And when was this process implemented?
July
Over the
2024.
past year or two,
Over the past year?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is the Board of Education following up on, giving you that information as they draw down?
They have provided the first drawdown of 1.4 million. They have provided all the required backup information.
Current information?
And it went
right?
through, the transaction went through clearly. We have not received another request as of today.
You have not received the request?
Any additional
Well, we have
requests?
Not a new request. Related to the previous request, as the treasurer was mentioning, there was a process that we went through to verify these reimbursements that they had submitted. And those expenses were all accounted for and signed off on according to the process. And approximately 1.4 million, I think, was transferred to the Board of Ed, with the last transfer taking place in the last month or two. And so at this point, everything is square, and to the extent they generate new invoices and benefits payments, they will repeat the process all over again. But it's running, at this point, we feel like it's running very smoothly and should be able to be implemented smoothly the next go-around.
So for what period of time was that $1.4 million for?
It was approximately a two-year period?
I think it was a one-year period.
I'm told it was a one-year period.
So the last fiscal, or?
That was part of the new procedure, was that it would be invoices that were submitted over the last year. That's what we did, yeah.
And so they probably, sometime in the next couple of months, you probably get, another batch of required requests?
Well, probably no longer than another couple of months, I would say several,
It's about 7 months or so?
to match up with the time period that we just went through this previous round. And then at that point, we're expecting it to be approximately $1.3 million annually.
That's good. And what is their current balance now?
Approximately $27 million.
So, Council President, on July 15, 2024, I have the memo here that went out to trustees, the members. And it clearly, we worked directly also with the finance director just to, we clear out the purpose of the trust fund, the definition of trust employee, the employer's commission, the OPED committee, the process of reimbursement request, which is what the key area that we had cleaned up a little bit more, and then the payment. And then we did the chart to make it even clearer. So we'll be happy to send this out to all of you.
Would appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And my last question, Mr. Chair, and comment is going to be on the COLA. The COLA.
Okay.
Because we do have residents, who have not gotten a COLA increase, as you know, Madam Treasurer, and they have reached out to all of us here in council on that. There is the mayor. Normally in the past, what I've seen is both the mayor and the treasurer get together and put together a task force so that they can come back to council and say, this will be the cost if we do X, Y, and Z. We are definitely looking forward to you sending us that information or sending us that information so we can actually, you know, as a council, since this is our job to actually vote on that COLA increase if there is any, or should be, you know, we would certainly need to get that information. As you know, you've got constituents who actually, you know, call and send a letter once a week. You know, and we would really love to see, at least I'm going to talk for my council members, I'm going to speak for me. And I'm going to say, you know, I'm asking you and the mayor to get together and really get us that information so we can make a decision and how we can fund if we're going to do a COLA, if we're going to fund it or not. But we can't make a decision unless you guys give us some information. So I'm hoping that, you know, in the next couple of months, you know, we can get that information and so we can satisfy the request from a lot of the retirees who still live here in the city of Hartford, who still participate here in our city, you know, and be able to give them some sort of relief that they're looking for. Because again, I will admit that I am I'm one of the city retirees, so I probably can't even vote on it. You know, but I know the cost of living has gone up, you know, just living in the city, from housing to everything else. And whatever we can do to help our retirees, I really am committed, you know, in working with my council members to make sure we can do something for them. So I'm asking if you can just work with us so we can get something on the table.
Well, Council President, thank you for that. I share the same passion like you when it comes to the COLA. I've been working on this issue since 2023, even before that, but 2023. In my role, I have spoken in front of council, testifying the importance of having a COLA because they have not received one since 2007. And the importance of working together and making this happen if we can or not. In my office, even before the COLA task force was set up, I even did some analysis in 2023 of the parameters that we used a couple years ago and provided that information to all of you. I've been in communication by email to you and the mayor and everyone else. So from my part, you do have my commitment in the sense of focusing just on the COLA task force. If you're saying, Carmen, let's work on the COLA task force, you have the treasurer and staff to make sure that we provide whatever we need, a financial analysis to help you determine if you are able, as leaders, with the general fund and obligation that you have, could afford it or not. And we all have to be transparent to the retirees, right? So, yes, you have my commitment, but I just want to make sure that we don't mix apples with oranges. The COLA task force, my understanding from day one, is to focus on the COLA, not on the sustainability of the pension. I do have a board, pension commission that does work with that. Now, can we have conversation down the road? I have invited all of you to my office to continue that conversation because many of you came to my office to talk about even the beginning of the ADOC and stuff like that, even your own pension. So we could continue that conversation, and I do want to continue that conversation with staff, with consultants, with you, and the mayor, but again, if we're going to focus on the COLA, I'm 100% there. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Majority Leader Rossetti.
No questions, thank you.
Councilwoman Bilodeau, good. All right, let's see. Assistant Majority Leader Clerk, any questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Treasurer, for your presentation. Just a quick question for you. How can we look into eliminating the 401A and moving all new employees back over to the MERP?
That was a wonderful question that you asked me last year, and I will continue to have these conversations with our with staff and with you and each one of you, but it's not going to be that easy. But let me continue doing what we need to do from our part and then have a meeting and let you know which direction we can go, if we can do that. I'm with you. I think all the unclassified employees should be part of the MRF. You know, the 401A was meant for the department heads, and somehow it included the unclassified individuals that didn't allow them to be part of the MRF. So let me continue these conversations. This is not an easy task, but we still serious about it, and we will address it and get back to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, Councilwoman Rosado.
I have no questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the presentation, Madam Treasurer.
You're welcome, sweetie.
All right, well, thank you, Madam Treasurer, and the rest of the team for being here with us tonight and giving us this presentation, answering all these questions. Thank you for your time. And we're going to take a 5-minute recess before we transition to our next department, the Registrar of Voters. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, welcome back to those watching us through HPA TV and to those here present. We are going for our second budget department hearing, and with us tonight we have our Office of Registrar of Voters, and with us tonight we have the Democratic Registrar Giselle Feliciano. Giselle Feliciano, please introduce the rest of the team alongside yourself, and then you could start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, now you guys can hear me. Good evening. Thank you for having us here. I'll introduce, and then the Republican Registrar, Mike McGarry, would like to start off, and then I'll follow after him, if that is okay. To my right here is the Democratic Registrar, Ms. Kathy Brooks. To my left, you have the Deputy Republican, Nayurka Velasquez. To her left is Republican Michael McGarry, or Mike, as we all know him. Behind me, without these people here and the people behind us, this is your staff for ROV. You have Olga Colon, who's the executive assistant. You have Glory Bell Santiago, our data input, and Chabeli Gonzalez Martinez, who is our also data entry clerk. So I'm going to go ahead and let Mike go, and then I'll follow after.
Yes, thank you, Council, for your persistence. I've been there, I've done that. I know the long procedure it is for you guys, and it's a real job you do. Appreciate that. Now, I'm new to this, and I want to thank all my associates here for putting up with a rookie like me. It's taking a while, but my training is continuing. I expect to be certified by summer's end, I think. We've had ROV conferences, Zoom meetings, Secretary of the State, internal items, and all kinds of interesting times since I've been here. We had a very successful spring session with visits to the schools. But next semester, we'd like to do it a little differently. We'll work with school leadership to plan assemblies for the 16 to 18-year-old kids. The clerk's office has an excellent video we can use, and we think maybe won't put up. It's been tough to put up with the rush to lunchtime. I think it'd be much better if we have the kids to ourselves for a short period at each school. Now, the Hartford Connect project, the idea is it's a big task to put all of the hundreds of organizations that are somehow tied into the city, civic organizations. It'll be actually ready for review, hopefully by you, in mid-June with the Hartford Votes Voter Coalition. We'll meet with them at the Hartford Foundation and work with them so that it'll be easier to get the message of the city as far as our office goes out, and give them the list that's not there anymore. It'll be a list of every, we hope, civic organization in the city for anybody's use. Now we got new equipment coming, change procedures that'll be explained by Gigi. Early voting, new regulations are all going to make a very interesting year. So in my official capacity, I've visited many NRZ meetings, senior centers, other events, and each time I give a little voter information and get a lot of questions. And as best I can, I try to explain the importance of voting. It's been very educational and fulfilling so far. I look forward to working with everybody else, especially my contemporaries here, and doing more of the same in the upcoming year. Thank you very much.
Okay. Chairman Hernandez, council members, and the viewing public, thank you for the opportunity to present the Registrar of Voters budget for fiscal year 25-26. Our office is responsible for ensuring fair, accessible, and secure elections for all voters. This includes voter registration, election planning, administration within the office, poll workers, recruitment, and training in compliance with state and federal election laws. Additionally, this year marks a major upgrade in our election infrastructure. We will be implementing new tabulators by ESSNS, a new voting system to enhance security, efficiency, and accessibility. These improvements are essential to enhancing voter confidence and keeping apace with evolving technology and regulations. As we prepare for the upcoming elections, Our proposed budget reflects the estimated expenses for the BOE primary, general elections, also the Democratic Committee election for March of the coming year. ROV is monitoring any further coming state legislation that may have any impact on our election procedures. I want to highlight the urgent challenges posed by recent federal actions. The executive order placed by the current president on the election integrity and the proposed SAVE Act, both measures would require documents proof of U.S. citizenship to register or update voter records, eliminating Connecticut's online that we currently do mail-in, DMV, and third-party registration systems. If enacted, these changes would significantly increase our local administrative work, disrupt long-standing process, and risk disfranchising thousands of eligible voters, particularly seniors, low-income residents, and those without immediate access to the documents that are required. While the passage of this measure is still uncertain, if implemented, compliance will be mandatory. At this time, there is no guarantee that funding would accompany these mandates, meaning the burden of the implementations could fall to local jurisdictions. Currently, legal challenges are ongoing, and further judicial will determine the ultimate impact of executive orders on Connecticut election systems. In closing, while we are committed to maintaining secure, accessible, and efficient elections, it is important to note that this proposed budget does not include funding for any new mandated laws, federal or state, as the changes were only recently brought to our attention. If such legislation passes, compliances will be required, but no dedicated funding has been identified at this time. We want to be transparent that any implementation would require additional resources beyond what is currently proposed in this current budget. Now I'll move on to the slide. As you see, our mission, which never changes, the Registrar of Voters Election, RRV, serves the needs of the voting public and municipalities in which they are elected. RRV is governed by federal, state, and local laws. ROV works closely with the Office of Secretary of State, SOTS, to ensure registered Hartford residents exercise their right to vote. Procedures are protected. ROV secure sacred honors to protect, promote public trust and confidence that we will conduct a fair and accurate elections to the best of our abilities. It is a requirement that we stay focused on our vision of all free and impartial elections despite changes in our society and its laws. Nurturing and protecting democracy is a team effort. Registrars continued in advancing with required professional accreditation prescribed by SOTS and current election laws. ROV is bound to uphold its integrity and in performing all duties. As you see, our organizational chart, voters are our first. Myself, Mike McGarry, Kathy, Nayurka, Olga, Glory Bell, and Chabeli. The highlights that we had, of course, maintain our voter files as we always do, the voting tabulators in preparation for elections that are mandated by the Secretary of State, accuracy and daily update by completing our record retention, maintenance, and enrollment, Canvas and DMV, participate in several community events to promote voter registration. We did Domingo Go, 29th Annual Gossip Festival, Jazz Festival, Puerto Rican Parade, Hello Neighbor event addressing barriers to voting, job course, several back-to-school events, Hartford Correctional Registration, and a new civic engagement, and of course the high school registrations. The following, you'll see all the key dates for these coming elections and so forth. You'll note that early voting has not changed their days of actual early voting, so it'll be 14 days in November like it was. It'll be very slow this year. Moving forward, we continue with completing our record retention, maintenance of enrollment via in-person, DMV, and online. Again, from my previous comments, we don't know if those things will change. We've conducted our annual canvass. You guys should have received your canvass cards in the mail. Please sign and return. Maintaining of the new equipment that's coming, the training of the tabulators. We are providing moderator certification. Election, the training that is required for our election officials. Continue promoting voter education, participate in community functions, to promote voter registration drives. The ERIC report, which has been completed this fiscal year, and currently awaiting any pending passages of any new legislation. As you know, the increase within our budget is due to union and non-union salary adjustments and the projected elections that are coming forward. Our budget highlights, of course, I've already said, projected expenses for election activities, early voting and same-day registration, ES and S new tabulators, total vote, which is the new system that is coming to the state of Connecticut for registration, new election management system, no excuse absentee, which our town clerk will discuss later, awaiting legislative changes. We've already talked about canvass. We work closely, our office works closely with Hartford Vote Coalition and continuing partnership to find solutions to enhance and encourage voter participation. We are currently going to target the youth within a couple of months with Hartford Vote Coalition. And of course, we continue our accreditation. Our staffing, 100% Hartford residents, 71.4 Hispanics, African American 14.3, Caucasian 14.3, no other. The majority are females. One male finally in the office. And that is it. So I will answer any questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are just pictures of what the new machines look like that we are getting this year. Right now, currently, Corporation Council and the mayor have the lease agreement that we're waiting to sign. Once it's signed, they will be delivered to our office. So as you can see, that's what the new tabulators will look like. And if we go on to the next one, this big machine, as you see, will be handling all our central counts, our early voting, our ABs, and our SDRs, or EDR now. So I just wanted to share those pictures with you.
Thank you. So the first picture is what the voters will see. The first one.
Exactly.
The second one, they don't see it. That's in.
No, well, you can, because it's a public,
Well,
but yes.
but that's not what they. They're not going to interact with that one.
No.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm going to start some questions on my right side. Is anybody? No. Majority Leader Rossetti.
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank both the registrars and all your staff for continuing to do a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, Sergey?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your presentation, both registrar. Thank you for giving us a little preview what may or may not happen regarding federal regulations that may or may not come up. In your presentation, you talked about reminding everyone to return their canvas card.
Correct.
Because of the annual canvas. What is the percentage of returns have you had over the last several years? Could you send that total number to us? You mail out 40-something thousand. What is the return rate?
We, actually, this year, we mailed out about 65 plus. We're starting to get them back. I want to say about a percentage of 44
So about
out of 40
44%.
comes back signed. The other ones come back undeliverable or have moved out of town.
Do you have to mail out canvas cards? I know you have to do an annual canvas. Hartford has additional step of actually sending a canvas card.
Yes. Well,
Is that mandatory?
canvassing is mandatory. The way we do it is not so mandatory. We have 3 ways we can do it. We can do it via phone. We can do it through our CVRS letters, which will be more expensive in the mailing cost. Or we can do door by door.
So if you can give me over the last, 3 years, because you have to do an annual canvas every year, what is the total rate of return? Because when I look at your budget and the cost of printing and mailing, it's 44% return, a good return, or could we go with something else? So your answer will help with how we make a decision.
Okay. Can I get back to you with the year's breakdown?
Pardon?
Can I get back to you with the year's
Oh,
breakdown?
sure, yeah. Didn't expect that at this time. I see that we have a lot of new equipment that's coming along. How much training is your office doing currently with the new equipment? I know, and I only can talk because I got a few town clerks here around the table and in the audience, where I know they're going to concentrate on the May elections and, August. What sort of training are you guys going to be doing for the upcoming use of a new equipment? And also, you have a new voter registration system that's coming aboard. What sort of training? Because Registrar, my apprehension right now is this, with the new equipment and the new applications that are coming aboard, I expect everyone to be efficient in utilizing it. Because as you know, both Registrar were going into a gubernatorial election next year. And if you are not efficient or proficient, that's the word, proficient on the use of this, it's going to be very difficult when we have a large election year.
So as far as the new tabulators, and then Mike, if you want to chime in, you're more than welcome. The new tabulators, right now, we currently only had 8 hours of training from the Secretary of State. Reason being is the rollout of all the referendums and all the other 169 towns, they're having their current elections at this time with referendums or certain special elections, that they're getting priority. They also had Secretary of State held a pilot program during that time, and Hartford was not chosen during that period of time for the last November election to be able to use the new machines. So unfortunately, we cannot get trained on them until they actually physically are here. And is that at a cost that we would have someone come in and train our trainers and train our moderators? It's an extra $2,000 cost for a day of training.
Yeah,
So
my comment is that
Sure.
our patriots around the state that had them for the various special elections or the May elections, they said it went fairly well. And no, I didn't hear of any real heartache at all. And they had the same kind of training we're going to get, and we've had some already. So I think it'll go smooth. This staff knows what it's doing. And when they see those machines, they seem to be, again, I'm brand new at it, they seem to be easy to be handled. And they're much more efficient, I've been told, again, by friends from around the state, and I have a lot of them, that it'll go smoothly.
Thank you for that response. As someone who implemented a new voting machine 20 years ago. I know how difficult it is with a population of 40,000 people that come out and vote in the city of Hartford. And it's not just the election official, you have to also train the voters on this new voting machine. So when I looked at your budget, oh, I lost my page. When I looked at your budget and I see that over the last several elections, your seasonal employee, 90-day temp, you know, every year it has gone up by the type of elections that you have. Last year was a presidential. You spent over $200,000 on seasonal employee. The year before you spent $185,000, which was a local election. So with the new equipment coming aboard, have you estimated the cost of training the community and your election officials and what that cost will be for this year?
So the training costs, what I inquired this past 2 weeks ago, I specifically asked the ES&S what the cost would be to have a trainer. Like I just stated, it was over $2,000. That is in a special budget line that I have to the side with equipment and training that I have when it comes to it. What extra we do have, or what I decided to do, was ask trained moderators that train and certify the moderators now, if they would be willing to come to Hartford as we're doing our certification, also doing extra training, so it wouldn't be too much of a high cost to Hartford. And they have agreed to that. So I'm going to have one set that's just going to be really training the office and our head moderators on how to deal with the machines that you saw on screen. And then after that, we'll have, be able to do more training with a certified moderator.
But what about the community?
No, I haven't forgotten. The community will be trained. I'm hoping to have the equipment in for the summer before the September primary and do a kickoff to have anyone and bring the machine wherever we would need to do a training, on-hand training, open up the office for on-hand training to how you actually enter in the ballot and so forth. The difference here would be the big screen, the smaller box. And unfortunately, fortunately, I was one of the registrars that was part of the committee in choosing the equipment. I did not go with this company, but they, UConn and everybody else voted the only registrars that were there that we did not like it. So it's going to be very difficult to get the public to understand, because when we had the old ticklers, going back to what you said, the tabulators that were currently there, that was Hells on Wheels, I can imagine. So I'm picturing that this is going to be the same thing. A lot of our voters are going to be turned off by the big screen that's in front of them and how it tells them, you know, your ballot is not going through. So with that being said, we have to take that seriously. So I'm hoping to get together not only with our office but the town clerk as we're doing voter engagement, that we are able to introduce the new machine. But I can't do it without having an actual machine.
One last question, Mr. Chair. Could you, registrars, explain to me the difference between early voting and same-day voting? Because I'm getting really confused in utilizing those terminology. And looking at your budget, I need to figure that out for myself.
So during the primaries, early voting is dealt with in, I believe, 4 to 5 days, right? Within those 4 to 5 days, same-day registration during the primary, and this is the way the Secretary of State has placed it in Roe. You come in, you register, but you have to come back the following day to actually cast your vote.
That's early voting.
That's during early voting and during the primaries. There's a difference. Now, during the general election, you have 14 days of voting, but you have what's called same-day registration. During the 14 days, you are allowed to register and actually cast your vote, where during the primary, you only have, you come in, you register, you got to come back the following day. But also during same-day registration, it's not called same-day registration, it's called EDR, Election Day Registration, which falls on the actual day of the election. So no longer SDR, EDR, where people will come in and vote, register and cast their vote on the day of election. That makes sense?
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
All right. So 14 days before the election, I can come and register.
And vote at the same
vote.
time.
Only November. But for the primary, I can come in and register and then come back the next day to vote.
Correct.
And election day, I can register and vote on the same day.
Election Day registration.
To me, it's the same thing.
I didn't make the rules.
I mean, as far as unless I'm lost,
Yes,
it's just a change of name, but it's a,
exactly.
So thank you. I just want to know what your, the cost of you said the city has the lease for the election. I need to know, is that for, what is the length of time we are going to have to pay for the lease, or the city has to? And what about the maintenance of the equipment?
Now we're coming down to the nitty-gritty. So the actual cost for the lease through the state is $1. It is a good deal until you come into the maintenance. The maintenance breakdown happens after December, and that maintenance breakdown can be several things. We're talking between $1,000 till a little over 10, depending on what equipment we're talking. We have to maintain the batteries of these new machines every 3 months. We must charge them and then store them properly. We can only get, these machines come with USB, I always say that wrong, USB sticks, and they're encrypted, so each of those are at a cost to the city when we need to replace them or get any extra. We just can't go to Staples and grab new USBs. There's a cost for the tapes. There's a cost per ballot now. We no longer use LHS. We can either go through Atkins or through the actual company itself. Between myself and the town clerk, we're looking to see which of the ones we will decide from. But the cost of each printing, dual language, which the city of Hartford is required to use, that's at an extra cost. So there is monies in our budget currently on a budget line that I do have for maintenance and equipment that I have budgeted there that I used for LHS, and I have it still there. I believe it's about 50. Yeah.
See that you have about 58,000.
Yes.
you have in your budget for the
Yes.
maintenance?
So
And-
that one, not only, will be used for the equipment we have currently, but we're also still liable for the maintenance and upkeep of the e-poles that finally got certified this past year. So we're hoping that we are allowed to use them.
Thank you for your presentation.
welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, Assistant Majority Leader Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No questions here. Thank the registrars for the great work to the people of Hartford.
No questions.
Okay, okay, sorry. Councilman Mitchell.
Appreciate the presentation, but no questions. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Thomas.
No questions for me. I just wanted to say thank you, Ms. Gigi, and thank you for your honesty, Mike, as well. I thought it was very interesting to just hear you say you're the rookie. I think you're probably one of the most, probably, the oldest rookie we've ever had. So it's just appreciate that kind of honesty, brother. And I hope the best for everything, and looking forward to the summer of you getting everything in order. It's amazing to hear that you guys are going into schools and doing stuff like that. It's just great work, and hope all of that just continues. And then I want to say, when I start talking, things come to my mind, so sorry about that. But I don't know if we have another department that has 100% residency of City of Hartford. So I just want to, congratulate you guys on that. That's a nice thing. And then also, the majority of your employees are also minority as well, and it's mostly Hispanic. And so I just want to say those are things that we should celebrate. And I know, we send out little newsletters and things like that, but I feel like that's something that even, residents of the city should hear as well, that the people that are in the ROV's office are people that look like them and also live amongst you, because I think sometimes people think that City Hall is not that way all the time. And this department is definitely one that represents the city in the correct type of way. I know whenever I go into the ROV's office, it's been a while because I haven't had to go in there for anything, which is good. But it's like a family environment. And, I like the way you guys handle stuff and do things there. And just wanted to say thank you for the work that you guys do to make the office feel that way, and just continue it.
Thank you.
All right, well, go ahead.
I'd like to stress that the staff seems to do a wonderful job all the way around. There's a lot more work in this particular office than I ever expected. It's handled in a nice, calm, easy way, and everyone who comes in is treated very gently and nicely, and I'm very proud to be a part of that crew.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that, Mike. Thank you to the Registrar of Voters Office for spending some time with us today with these presentations. Thank you very much. We're going to take a 5-minute recess as we transition to our last budget department for the Town and City Clerk. Thank you. the system down. All right, well, welcome everyone. We are now on our third and last budget hearing department for the evening. So with us tonight, we have our town and city clerk, Eric Luza. Mr. Luza, the floor is yours, and please introduce the team alongside yourself today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Council President, Minority Leader, Majority Leader. My name is Eric Luza. I was appointed town clerk January 13th of this year. Before I get into the presentation, I would like to introduce some of the wonderful team we have sitting next to us and beside us. We have Haley Green, who helps coordinate with the City Council on a daily basis on various City Council initiatives and operation stuff. We have the Director of Vital Records, Ms. Williams, and we have Vanessa Muriel in the audience, who helps spearheads our operations department. On October 22nd of this year, Noel McGregor was tragically hit on a hit and run on Route 2. I'd like to take a moment of silence to honor him. Thank you for that. I would like to start saying that I'm honored and humbled to be here every day to pass the torch of those that came before me. If it was Dan Carey, John Bazzano, or now Noel McGregor, every day me and my staff thrive to do what's best for the city of Hartford. The town clerk's office is the official record keeper for the city of Hartford, responsible for recordings, maintaining and clarifying land records, including deeds, mortgages, liens, maps, and any other related documents. Vital Records, a separate division within the town clerk's office, helps facilitate birth, marriages, civil unions, and deaths. We are also the secretary to the city council. We help you on a daily and weekly basis with committees, agendas, certified resolutions, and items of that nature. The town clerk's office is one of neutrality and impartiality, rendering equality to all, with an emphasis on providing information according to applicable state and local, accurate, efficiently, and cost-effective manner. The mayor and the city council shall engage in outreach efforts, including, but not limited to, the following, in order to solicit candidates for the positions on boards and commissions. I will get back to that at a later date. Currently in front of you is the organizational chart for the town clerk's office. The town clerk's office is siloed into 4 separate divisions. You have land records, which is where Ricardo Soto is our project manager, followed by Muriel, Vanessa, and Kim Ashley. That is the operations aspect where your deeds, your mortgages, your land records, your fishing licenses, your dog tags, airplane registration, all the operation stuff comes out of that silo. In the middle silo is myself, deputy clerk, who is vacant, and Haley Green Lesper, who helps facilitate the council stuff, so we consider that its own personal silo. We have a vital records division, which is across the hall. The head of that division is Terry Williams, followed by 3 assistant registrars. And not reflective in this chart is the election division. The election division is something that happens on a seasonal basis. For the next fiscal year, we have 2 upcoming elections, one being the Board of Ed and one being the town committee races. Some of the highlights that I'll briefly go over for last year's fiscal year. We're continuing to do staff development through training and certification. We've been going to all the conferences, working on certifications for not just myself, but others in the office. We continue to cross-train all staff in the office, and we are promoting an individual to make everybody a HMEA-friendly workplace. We're constantly working on boards, commissions, and placing all of the appropriate minutes that are online for the public to see at any given time. We're currently working on a digital project for our land records. We're using $50,000 in internal clerk funds and $10,000 in grant to backscan some of our older land records. That adds another revenue stream for our division and for the city. Under Noel's watch, we have converted BB the mascot to a plush and easily transported mascot that shows up to various community events throughout the city. I'm sure you have seen him bouncing around town. And we partnershiped with the Hartford Public Library via a $50,000 grant to get out the vote. We placed English and Spanish ads on the sides of bus during the last presidential cycle in November. Now, kind of the meat and potatoes of the office. It's a little small on that screen, but the town clerk's office takes in approximately $5.5 million annually About half that money is pass-through money that goes to the state of Connecticut. The remaining $2.5 million we give back to the city. So we're one of the more highly profitable departments within the city. After all our expenses, we'll give back between $2.5 and $4 million a year, depending on what the volume of land records are. One note I would like to take on that small screen is that our Vital Record Division, through the Real ID program, has seen a 32% increase year over year in people applying for birth certificates. So on any given day, the ladies in that division will come in with 200 backlogged birth certificates that need to get pulled just for this cycle. Now, that number is driven by the Real ID program, by the tax time, and schools. Yes, correct, and schools, and yeah, people getting it for schools. But I just want to, let the ladies know that run that division and that are here in the audience that, they've seen a 32% increase year over year, which is more revenue for the city. Now, looking at the next slide, some of the strategic initiatives. We are collaborating with Family, Children, and Youth and other partners. We were awarded a grant in which anytime an individual is born within one of the major hospitals, they will get a little welcome package. And within that welcome package, there'll be some Hartford swag, right, stuff of that nature, and an easy way for us to reach out to them and they can get their birth certificates for their newly born child. We've been working with Hartford 2000 and other community partners to help participate in the local board and commission events. We had an event this Saturday, which me and Haley participated in at the Hartford Library, hosted by the old Hartford 2000 and those guys. So we try to do some grassroots campaign to help drive the boards and commissions. Now, the boards and commissions are the policy drivers for the city. So the more that our residents can participate in those commissions, the better the policies that can come out of this body and the mayor's body are for the city. We are currently working with Registrar voters, the state of Connecticut, and a vendor to be the first in the state to get a new high-tech ballot drop box. Ballot drop boxes are located at 4 locations across the city, the most prominent one being in front of the City Hall currently. Now, the new drop box, assuming the state will approve it, will take your video as you drop it. We can track it once it's in the box, and we'll know, what happened. If anything happens to that box, we know whose ballot's in there. So a lot of that guesswork is taken out of it. There's currently an executive order from the President of the United States that is flushing its way out through the judicial system. Once that executive order is taken up in court with William Tong, we will have more information. We're just looking to see what the impact of that is going to be. Make no mistake, that will have a significant impact within our office and the Registrar of Voters office. Furthermore, a constitutional amendment was passed last November by the voters of the state of Connecticut, and absentee balloting is no longer with us. It is now strictly vote by mail. So we anticipate, once the bill is crafted between now and July 1st, a significant increase in our vote by mail. So we will be working with this body in the mayor's office to see what exactly that law looks like. So please stay tuned to that. And as Gigi had alluded to, the state is getting up to the times. We're one of the few states where we seem to be behind on our election law and using the technologies at hand to make things more seamless. The state has just greenlighted some new voting systems, some new tabulators, and some new e-poll books. That is currently still being flushed out by the delegation. Once we get the exact law and the language of the law, we'll be implementing that to the best of our ability. Luckily, we only have the Board of Ed election coming up. Hopefully, there's no primary with that, and we'll be rolling this stuff out on a smaller election size versus the governor's race coming in August and November of next year. And looking at our budget comparisons for year over year, 25-26, the biggest takeaway there is there's a 4% increase there. That is strictly due to wage growth increments, some rearranging we're doing in the office. So that pretty much covers that. And some further just highlights and areas of focus that we do. We issue dog licenses, military records, notaries, justice of the peace. We just swore in 350 justices of the peace from the Democratic Party alone. I think the Republicans had about 50. So that was an ongoing 3-month process that Vanessa Muriel in our office helped spearhead. Very helpful. Notary services, sports licenses, domestic partnership, burial permits, liquor permits, the list goes on and on. If any of you have an aircraft on Brandon Road, you have to register with us. Now, looking at our staff composition. Our staff composition is such, about half of our employees live in the city of Hartford, about half don't. Our race and ethnicity is everything from 44% Hispanic Latino, 33% African American, 11% Caucasian, and 11% prefer not to say. And the male-female breakdown is on the screen. Now, each of you should have a swag bag. Some of that swag bag stuff is some of the community outreach that we do through various initiatives. It's very rudimentary, but our funds are limited. There's QR codes in there to apply for an absentee ballot. There's QR codes in there to apply for boards and commissions. Any ideas or any help you guys can give in some of that outreach, happy to sit down with some of you. Like I said, we work closely with our Registrar of Voters office, especially once these new law changes, once the executive order flushes out through the legal process, and once the vote by mail flushes out, we'll have more of a defined role of what we're actually going to do to try to bring this to the residents, to try to cut through some of that noise. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. We're going to go to the screen and see if there's any questions. Assistant Majority Leader Clark, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, through you. Mr. Clerk, thank you for your presentation and for your leadership and picking up where President McGregor had left off. I don't have any questions, but I just look forward to continue working with you. We worked together for about 15 years now, so really do thank you for your exceptional leadership, and please let my office know how we can be of assistance to the clerk's office. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes, I want to just take off of what Assistant Majority Leader said. Mr. Lusa, thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to continuing to work with you in the Town Clerk's office. Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
All right. Majority Leader Rossetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Clerk, to your team. Just a couple of things. Interestingly, when will we know about that ballot drop box if we're approved? It is on it. Oh.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Correct.
When will we know about, first of all, thank you. When will we know about that ballot drop box if it's approved?
Yeah, thank you for the question. We're vetting with the state of Connecticut now. We hope to be the first in the state of Connecticut to pilot this program. We're looking to do it during a smaller election. So hopefully in the next coming months, we'll have some degree of direction from the state of Connecticut.
Is it a competition, or we just have to?
No, we're just taking the lead in this as a capital city to try to bring some new technology in that can make things easier for everybody.
I'm curious, in your, line item, it's $5,300 for aircraft registration.
Yes.
Is that people who have aircraft registered in the city of Hartford?
Correct. It's no different than registering your car. Yes.
So how many aircraft does that denote?
That number's a little lower for this time of year, but you fluctuate between 120 and 190 airplanes that are housed at Brainerd Airport.
So they're housed there, but does that mean people who live in 190 people in the city of Hartford own an
not necessarily
aircraft?
That they live here, but they house their airplane here.
But they house it
regional.
here.
It's
Oh,
regional.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I was like, who owns an aircraft that I don't know? And maybe I'm ahead of this, or it's not flushed out yet, but, and particularly for the viewing audience, and for me, the difference between the absentee ballot and vote by mail?
So it's transitioning. In the past, an absentee ballot is you had to have a reason to be absent to vote. Now when it's vote by mail, there's no longer an excuse to vote by mail. We're no different than any other state in the union, where if you want to vote by mail from the comfort of your own home, you can.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Council President Surgeon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Town Clerk. I just want it to be known to all our council member that the Town Clerk's office is really under the City Council. So he didn't really need to come and do a presentation.
This is true. We work for all 9 of you, yes, correct.
So I just want to let it be.
But happy to do it. It's good practice.
So I want to thank you for that respect to come into council.
Happy to do
because
so.
because your budget we have to approve.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So I know looking at the new ballot box.
Sure.
I know I was looking at the regulations. It's already on the Secretary of State website.
Sure.
We're going to be requiring that films, all that requirement is already there.
Sure.
So I commend you, because a lot of people haven't read the the requirements are sitting there, that you're going to need to make sure that there's a film, and, you know, when you drop your unfortunate, your ballot in the ballot box.
Yes.
So those are requirements that the Secretary of State's office and legislators are now requiring for us, for the entire state to do. So I'm glad that you're taking the initiative already
Yeah, just
to get that
piggyback
ready.
on that.
I'm s-
Currently-
let me just finish one more thing before you touch on that. Looking at the new the ballot box, and it says it takes a picture on the inside, you know, and it keeps track of when you drop your ballot off.
Sure.
So this way, the requirements online that talked about you have to have a film of, or you have to retain
year.
the film with X amount of time, this will solve that problem.
We're taking it one step further. Currently, we have met with Hartford Police Department, HPD, and we have met with their streets unit with the cameras. The name's escaping me. But every ballot box currently is under 24-hour surveillance. Not so much now, but always during the election cycle. So we, per the state law, we have to keep the camera of the ballot boxes for a year on record if they're ever FOI'd by any concerned citizen. We're just taking it one step further. So instead of having like a camera above the ballot box, a little grainier footage, we'll have each individual, as they get up to the box, their face will be recorded, their ballot will be recorded. We're just trying to take it one step further. Even if this pilot program does not take off, we will still be leaning on the police department to help us monitor these locations. In Oregon, there was a firebomb attack a few months ago during the federal cycle. Some of the ballots were lost. It's stuff like that you want to be prepared for. God forbid that ever happens here.
Oh, God forbid. Thank you for doing that. And also, when you talked about no excuse voting, you know, that's something which we haven't seen the regulations for us yet.
No, the legislator is still hashing out the final legal language.
So do you think that this local election year, we won't be utilizing the no excuse voting as yet?
We will be utilizing it. It's just, what does that look like?
I'm sorry?
We will be utilizing the law, assuming the assumptions are through the Town Clerks Association and the Registrars Association that upon passage, the law will take effect. So around July 1st. So we will have to implement the new vote by mail between July 1st and, you know, either August if there's a primary, and probably more hypothetically November.
So you're going to have to implement it this year?
Yes, correct.
And have you put that in your budget?
We're waiting to see what the final legal language looks like. We have some contingency plans built in through business cases that were submitted to the mayor's office. Worst case scenario, we'll need to hire a few more 90-day temps to put underneath us, because in-house we just won't be able to handle the volume. The volume will go up significantly either way you slice it.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Clerk and staff. No questions. I'll just say, in response to Councilwoman Rossetti's comment, I learned when I got a tour of the airport that none of the people who keep a plane at the airport live in Hartford, and none of the people who work at the airport, and none of the people who go to the aviation school there live in Hartford.
Yeah, so that giant parcel gives you $6,000 in revenue. Leave it at that.
Minority Leader Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to just say thank you guys for the work that you do, and I think sometimes, not just you guys, but some of the other staff members of the clerk's office kind of sometimes are like, you know, the unsung heroes, especially when you talk about the amount of revenue that you guys bring in. It is a sizable amount, so I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and I definitely appreciate you, Ms. Haley, for the work that you do to kind of keep things organized. And I know, you know, Brother Eric Lusa, you've stepped up. I appreciate you having a moment of silence for, you know, my brother Noel, and keeping, you know, his name alive, and just appreciate all the work that you guys do. It's a lot that happens out of the town clerk's office. I think most people just go in there, you know, get your birth certificate and stuff like that, but no one kind of really knows all the other things that you guys do, and it's a lot. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for the work that you do for the city.
We appreciate that, Minority Leader.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk, and to your office for all the support and help that you guys provide to council. So thank you for tonight's presentation. And this will conclude our evening. So this meeting is now adjourned.